I'm going to put up a piece of graph paper here, an electronic piece of graph paper, so I can, just like what we did yesterday. All right. Now, these are your points here. Excuse me. These are your x and your y points. I like to do all my rough work in the middle and then just sort of summarize on the right what the coordinates are. It's very, very easy to graph. Hopefully you got what I was trying to say yesterday. I don't know if I was clear. When you're using a piece of graph paper, can I borrow this, please? You do not need to use the entire piece of paper for one graph. Do you get what I was saying for that? Okay, remember I drew a little picture. You can either make your graph like one here and one here, or if you're very, very accurate, you can do 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? You don't need to use the entire graph paper for one graph. All right, you guys saw it on that video yesterday, I hope? Oh, no, it's not. We'll wait for the video, right? Okay, good. Okay, so probably for today's graph, probably top half of probably the page will be fine. Okay. Can I get a brave volunteer? You can only raise your hand once. What's the first thing I should put on my graph, please? X and Y axis makes sense. So I'm going to draw an arrow down the middle. And we're going to go sort of like this. And, oh goodness. I don't know why my left and my right doesn't work properly. And we're going to write on x-axis one. This is boring, all right. Okay, and this we'll call x-axis. You will actually get a mark for doing this. Right, so I want you to physically label x and y. If you're dealing with a word problem, and this way is the number of days, and this way is the number of chickens, or whatever it happens to be, you can label appropriately what they are. But since you're dealing with x and y, please do so. Okay, somebody else, please. What else do I need to put on here? Good. Zero's in the middle. Positive is going to go to the right. Hopefully I was clear on this yesterday. Please make sure all your points fit on the graph. How high do I need to make sure my graph goes up to? Up and down? No. Good. Right? So if you look at the y values, the highest value is 7, and the lowest value is -5, so you have to make sure. This is happening, this is more as you know. How many times have you seen this in your life, do you think? And then they put a point, it's supposed to be like 28, and it's way off the graph. Like, how many times have you seen that? Way too many. It drives me bonkers. Okay, so please don't do that. So please make sure that you get all the way up to 7. Hopefully this will fit quite nicely. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, -6, -7. If you take a look now, we have gotten all the points going to fit on there. Left and right, I just got to get to 3, so I'm going to count by 2s. Okay, so things are looking good. I got third volunteer. Cassie, you're out. Somebody else. What else should I put on this graph before I start applying quantity? One other thing. Okay, go ahead. Title would be good. What's a good title?
Graph for x equals -2x plus 1.
Yeah. Like, you don't need to put a fancy title. I just need to sort of see what it is. Also, notice that again, I want to put arrows on all 4 corners too. The reason I do that, if you want to draw 2 graphs on 2 lines on the same piece of graph paper, go ahead, right? But just make sure you do it in 2 different colors or you label them separately. This is all hopefully coming back a little bit from last year, I hope. Nobody's talking. It means you're focusing. You're focusing. That's good. I like focus. That's wonderful. All right. Finally out. Where is -3 and 7 going to be? No. Just think here. -3, -7, -3 and 7. The negative x is this way, right? So x is -3, and y is 7 is going to be up here someplace.
Oh, I'll figure that out.
Now, if you get them backwards, your graph's wrong. Okay, so there's, like, you have to be sure, like, left and right is x, up and down is y. That's why you label x-axis and y-axis. Quinn, where's the next point going to be?
-2 and 5.
Okay, which is going to be where? Yeah, 2 to the left, and then 5 up will be up here. Okay. This is hardcore. Math is hardcore. I don't know if there's such a thing as hardcore.
Unless you live hardcore.
That said, let's continue, please. Okay, -1 and 3. I haven't seen them moving in a long time, actually. I'll pause this so that the internet doesn't hear this joke, because I really don't want to hear this. Saying that, okay. All right, 0 and 1 is right here. 0 and 1 is right there. 1 and -1 is right there. 2 and -3 is right here. And 3 and -5 is right there. All right, Quinn, I'm picking on you again because you're in the front row. Looking at that graph, why are you and me happy with that graph? Straight. It is a straight line, okay? If, for instance, I drew this on the video, I hope, if you see a graph that looks like this, this is more, have you ever seen a graph in your life that looks like that? Probably every choice assignment that I give you the first week of school, you get that. Can somebody guess what point is wrong? Nobody's guessing. Can anyone guess that? Sorry?
Middle one?
Probably this one right here is incorrect. Okay, so check that one out. Right? It should be in a straight line if it's y equals mx plus b. We'll get to that again today. Right? So this graph is looking good, so straight.
Later on, so you mix up your x and your y for one point,
Or like-
or you mix up with a negative.
Yeah, or positive and negative. The same thing, if your graph does something like this, because you're negative, something's wrong there too, right? So just be clear, it's supposed to be a straight line. Now, of course, say, I never do that, Mr. Sadler. Okay, and Mrs. Morio, I guarantee you're gonna see that on the first test. I guarantee somebody will do that. Okay, so I need to do 2 things before I finish. What are the 2 things? Sarah, was that a comment? 2 things, what's someone gonna have to do? Connect the dots would be a good thing, right? There was one girl last semester who refused to connect the dots. I don't know why. I'm going to do this just like on the video, hopefully, where I'm going to change the color now. Now, what I'm also doing, you can't actually see it, but I'm actually using a ruler here while I'm doing this, okay? So for you guys here, I would be looking, making sure that graph is perfectly straight, okay? Because if we pick different x values, if I pick x equals 2.1 and all the decimals, it would go in a straight line like that. Okay, and I'm saying this to Mrs. Moore and everyone else because this is one thing that drives me and Mrs. Moore makes us very sad. And you guys don't want us to be sad. What's the last, what am I missing on this graph? There are 2 things that I'm missing. I don't see. You guys are happy with that graph? I'm not happy with this graph. I'm sad. Okay. Well, you guys are still writing, so I'll help you. You gotta make sure it goes on like this. Extend it a little bit because the graph will continue on. I just happened to stop at 3, right? I could have chosen 4 and keep on going, right? I could have done -4 and keep on going. Right? You're feeling somewhat okay about this? Most people. Okay. What I want someone to do, actually I'll remember, we're going to head down. We're going to head down right now. You can bring your books with you.